Cobblestone streets at dawn, rooftops turning gold at sunset, the smell of coffee from a corner cafe you will never find again. Europe does something to the soul, and once it has you, it never lets go. This is Travel Destinations Cinematic, and today we take you on a journey through the 12 most beautiful cities in Europe. Let's go. Europe, a continent where you can walk through 2,000 years of history in a single afternoon, where every alley hides a story, and where cities of extraordinary beauty are separated by nothing more than a short train ride or a cheap flight. From the ancient Acropolis of Athens to the rooftops of Paris, from the canals of Venice to the electric streets of Istanbul, where Europe and Asia meet across a single stretch of water, this list covers the full, extraordinary range of what European city travel can be. 12 cities, 12 completely different reasons to pack your bags. These are our picks, and if your favorite city is on this list, or if we left it out entirely, we want to hear about it in the comments. Stay with us, because the city at number 1 is, for us, in a category entirely of its own. And trust us, you will want to see number 5. Let's go. Starting at number 12, Athens is the city where Western civilization began, and walking through it today, with the Acropolis rising above the urban sprawl and the Parthenon visible from almost every street corner, that weight of history is impossible to ignore. The ancient Agora, the Temple of Hephaestus, the Theater of Dionysus, where the first plays in human history were performed. Athens layers 3,000 years of history with a density that no other European city can match. But Athens is not only a museum. The Monastiraki district, the rooftop bars of Syri with the Acropolis illuminated above, the street food of the Central Market, the energy of Syntagma Square. Athens is a living, loud, passionate city that wears its extraordinary ancient past lightly and its vibrant present with enormous energy and pride. At number 11, Venice is the most improbable city ever built. 118 islands connected by 400 bridges and 150 canals in the middle of a lagoon in the northern Adriatic. A city that has been slowly sinking for centuries and remains, against all reasonable expectation, one of the most beautiful and most romantic places anywhere on Earth. There are no cars in Venice, no motorbikes, no roads of any kind. The only sounds are footsteps on ancient stone, the quiet lap of water against Renaissance palace foundations, and the distant call of a gondolier echoing between the walls. At dawn, before the day visitors arrive and the narrow calle fill with crowds, Venice carries a quality of stillness and beauty entirely unlike any other city in Europe. It is a city that should not exist, and the fact that it still stands is one of the great wonders of human civilization. At number 10. Istanbul is the only city in the world that sits on 2 continents. Its European shore separated from its Asian shore by the Bosphorus Strait, a stretch of water that has divided and connected civilizations for millennia. The Hagia Sophia, built in 537 AD and for nearly 1,000 years the largest cathedral in the world. The Blue Mosque, its 6 minarets rising above the old city skyline at dusk. The Grand Bazaar, 4,000 shops across 60 covered streets, the oldest and largest covered market in the world. The Bosphorus at sunset, when the water turns deep gold and the minarets are silhouetted against an extraordinary sky. Istanbul is a city of overwhelming beauty, overwhelming history, and a sensory intensity that leaves every single visitor completely and utterly breathless. At number 9. Amsterdam is one of the most beautiful and most livable cities in all of Europe. A city of 165 canals, 1,500 bridges, and over 1 million bicycles, built on wooden piles driven deep into the soft earth of the Dutch River Delta and lined with 17th-century merchant houses that lean at wonderfully improbable angles over the still dark water. The Rijksmuseum, the Anne Frank House, the Van Gogh Museum, Amsterdam carries the full, extraordinary weight of Dutch cultural history in a city that feels intimate, human-scaled, and remarkably easy to fall completely and permanently in love with. In spring, when the tulip season arrives and the canal sides burst into color and the light on the water is soft and golden in the long northern evenings, Amsterdam is simply one of the most beautiful cities in Northern Europe. Number 8. Madrid is the city that rewards those who arrive without expectations, a capital of surprising depth and beauty that most travelers pass through on the way to Barcelona, and almost all of them deeply wish they had given far more time to. The Prado Museum, one of the greatest art collections in the world, housing Velázquez, Goya, and El Bosco under one magnificent roof, is reason enough alone to make the journey to Madrid. The Retiro Park at dawn, when the light is still soft, the tapas bars of La Latina, the extraordinary Mercado de San Miguel overflowing with food and noise and color, the Gran Via blazing with lights at night. Madrid is a city that lives at full and glorious volume from midday until well past midnight, fueled by jamón, red wine, and a passion for life that is entirely, completely, and infectiously its own. At number 7. Krakow is the most beautiful city in Poland and one of the most underrated in all of Europe. Unlike Warsaw, Krakow survived the Second World War almost entirely intact, and the result is a medieval old town of extraordinary preservation, a UNESCO World Heritage Site of Gothic churches, Renaissance architecture, and one of the finest market squares in Europe. The Rynek Główny, where the 14th-century cloth hall stands at the center of a vast plaza that has been the beating heart of the city for 700 years, is magnificent. The Wawel Royal Castle on the hill above, the Jewish quarter of Kazimierz with its synagogues and atmospheric café culture, and the sobering weight of Auschwitz-Birkenau just an hour away, Krakow carries more history per square kilometer than almost any other city in Europe. At number 6, Berlin is the most fascinating capital in Europe, and if you have not been, this is your sign to go. A city that was divided by a wall for 28 years, bombed to rubble in the Second World War, and has reinvented itself so completely that it has become one of the most creative and most culturally vital cities on the planet. The Brandenburg Gate, the Holocaust Memorial, the East Side Gallery, the longest surviving section of the Berlin Wall, covered in extraordinary murals. Berlin wears its painful history openly and honestly. And between the history, the world-class museums, the music, the street food, and the nightlife that has no equal in Europe, Berlin is a city that never stops moving, never stops creating, and never stops surprising. If this city is not on your list, it needs to be. At number 5, and if Lisbon is not already on your list, let this be the moment that changes that completely. Lisbon is Europe's most underrated capital, a city of 7 hills, pastel-colored facades, and ancient yellow tram lines that climb slowly through neighborhoods of extraordinary character and charm. The Alfama, Lisbon's oldest and most atmospheric district, cascades down the hillside toward the wide Tagus River in a maze of cobblestone lanes with fado music drifting from open doorways in the warm evening air. The Belém Tower on the waterfront, the magnificent monastery of Geronimos, the Miradouros, where the city spreads below you in every direction in the late afternoon golden light. Lisbon rewards slow travel and long, unhurried afternoons. It is a city people visit once and spend the rest of their lives trying to get back to. At number 4. London is one of the great cities of the world, a vast and extraordinary metropolis of 9 million people that somehow manages to feel like a collection of villages, each one with its own character, its own architecture, and its own fiercely and proudly defended identity. The Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, Buckingham Palace, the Tate Modern, the Borough Market, the South Bank at dusk when the Thames turns a deep and luminous gold. London is inexhaustible in a way that very few cities on Earth can genuinely and honestly claim. You can spend an entire day in world-class museums without paying a single penny of entry. Walk the full length of the Thames, eat food from every corner of the world, and still feel at the end that you have barely scratched the extraordinary surface. At number 3, Rome is the eternal city, and the name is fully and completely earned. No city on earth has been continuously inhabited, continuously powerful, and continuously beautiful for as long as Rome has been. The Colosseum, the Pantheon, the Roman Forum, the Sistine Chapel, the Vatican, the Trevi Fountain. Rome stacks world-class monuments on top of each other with a magnificent casualness that is almost overwhelming to experience. A cafe in Rome might have a 2,000-year-old Roman wall as its back fence. A metro construction project might be halted for years because the excavators keep finding ancient temples buried deep beneath the modern streets. Rome is a city where the past is not preserved behind glass or cordoned off behind barriers. It is simply there, all around you, in the streets and in the walls and in the living foundations of absolutely everything. At number 2, Barcelona is the most visually extraordinary city in Europe, a Mediterranean metropolis where the singular genius of Antoni Gaudí has left a mark on the urban landscape so distinctive and so extraordinary that the city feels unlike anything else on Earth. The Sagrada Familia, still under construction after over 140 years, is one of the most remarkable and most ambitious buildings ever conceived by a human mind. Parc Güell, Casa Batlló, Casa Milà. Gaudí's buildings are not architecture in any conventional sense of the word. They are something else entirely. But Barcelona is also so much more than Gaudí. The Gothic Quarter, Barceloneta Beach, the Boqueria Market, the food scene of El Born, a city of extraordinary energy and extraordinary beauty that makes every single person who visits want desperately to stay forever. And our number 1, Paris. There are cities that are beautiful, and then there is Paris. The French capital is the most visited city on Earth, and it earns that distinction not through marketing or convenience, but through a quality of beauty, a depth of culture, and an approach to daily life that simply has no equal anywhere in the world. The Eiffel Tower at dusk, when the city below turns gold and the Seine reflects the last light of the day. Notre Dame, rising again after the fire of 2019, its restoration one of the great acts of cultural determination of the modern era. The Louvre, the Musée d'Orsay, the Marais, the Luxembourg Gardens, the bouquinistes along the Seine, the café where you sit for 2 hours over a single espresso and the waiter never once asks you to leave. Paris is not just a city, it is an idea of what a city can be. And no place on earth has done more to define that idea than this one. And there you have it, 12 cities, 12 reasons to pack your bags and never look back. But here's the truth, Europe doesn't end here, not even close. The cities you just saw are the ones the world already loves. But Europe's greatest secret is what lies beyond them, the hidden gems. The places that don't make every list, the alleys that don't appear on postcards. That video is coming soon, and trust us, you will not want to miss it. If this journey inspired you even a little, hit that like button, it means the world to us. Subscribe to Travel Destinations Cinematic so you never miss where we go next. And drop your favorite European city in the comments. Did we get it right, or did we leave your city out? We read every single one. Until next time, keep exploring.